Hey guys, so over the 5 years that I've been an SC backer, I've been in 3 orgs. And as I progressed through them, I've really dialed in what I want and expect in a Star Citizen org. Um, Within the last few weeks, a number of people have kind of came to the same conclusion about what they want. And now together, we are actually building that in my fourth org, AotW. So instead of the normal video I have that talks about specific game mechanics and things like that, I want to talk about the role orgs play in SE Endgame and what the vision is for ours, and maybe get in a little bit into how I've come to this conclusion. So it's a little bit of an ad. Um, the most important thing to us and to most SE players that I've met is that we want to play with our friends and have a good time, doing so in the game. We enjoy SC even with all the problems that it has, and we want to play with other people that share that mindset. To us, there's a difference between criticism and toxicity. Part of that is also that we love to joke around and mess around, but we also expect a certain level of professionalism when it comes down to the game itself. If you're in an org with immature guys that act like jerks, or maybe they're really elitist or whatever, everyone in that org is going to inherit that label a little bit. I mean, we're decent guys, we're adults. We expect that reputation for the group we play with. For example, I do a lot of community stuff with SC4 and with Star Citizen DB and the component spreadsheets. A lot of outreach and kind of work, I guess you could say, to benefit the community. And I don't want to ruin that reputation with my org tag. That's kind of self-defeatist. And we don't want, at the same time, to drive away other grown-ups that care about the game from joining us. So we, in AotW, vet who we let in, and we want them to be on board with our goals before they join us. I really don't want to be in a situation where I'm micromanaging behavior or policing people. I'm just way too old for that drama. I don't care for it. And yes, we want to PvP and dabble in piracy, and we want to be really good at those things. But we don't do that, because we're jerks. We do it because it's challenging and interesting from a gameplay perspective. Like coordinating a fleet, disabling ships and kind of taking over station. Those are all really difficult tasks and complex tasks. But that's that's a huge part of what makes them fun. Working as a team to overcome a challenge that's bigger than an individual is a pretty, rewarding thing to do, and it's a lot of reason that people play these games in the first place. Multiplayer games, MMOs, that's our focus, is on that, overcoming those complex tasks as a team. And for anyone out there, they should focus themselves on what they want to do in their endgame goals. Is it to be part of a fleet? Is it to work as a team to do something difficult like coordinate assault on a space station? I think too often, and I'm guilty of this myself, people focus on who they want to play with and not on how they want to play with those people. If you want to play with your friends, it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive with kind of the cool end game available in SC. And being an org that has the structure and the leadership to accomplish that is capable of handling those things. You can do both of those things. You can play with people you want and get the end game you want. It doesn't have to be, all my friends are here, I have to go with them. So for me and the rest of AotW leadership, we are in SC for the idea of fleet versus fleet and org versus org stuff. We're never going to be thousands of people, but as a few hundred, I think we could be a pretty critical part of an EVE style kind of alliance, or as a mercenary group that's hired. And we can do that while still keeping kind of the solid core of people where everyone mostly knows everyone else in the org. And that's the goal. Now, for how we achieve that, our structure is going to be that of a fully integrated mercenary corp. That means having all of the pieces that a combat group needs to be successful in one package. Gameplay wise, right now we only have obviously FPS and dogfighting, more or less. But those are not enough to actually be successful in SC. Sure, things could change as the game is developed. I mean, they surely will change as the game develops. Maybe you can't have as many people. Maybe some mechanic is completely different than how it's planned right now. But we can plan for what we want right now and build to that now if we ever want to do it. We could wait and wait and wait forever, but you know, it's we have the time to adapt. We have the leadership and the player base, the maturity and the intelligence to adapt to whatever the game gives us. But we might as well plan for it. Um, that plan right now, if it's going to be successful, is that we need seamless integration with the other vital roles in the game, especially the ones that are applicable for combat. So we also need bomber pilots. We need scout ships, E-war ships, assault ships, and those are just the ones directly involved in combat. We also need logistics like refueling and the cargo guys to haul off the stuff we, pirate or whatever. And of course, hopefully salvagers to clean up the battlefield, and medics and engineers to fix it up for the next one. That all needs to be under one roof and working together for a common goal. There's a lot of, maybe just specialize in one area, but then you're relying on, the rest of the alliance or whatever to come through for you. And then there's these weird divisions between the actual organizations that will slow you down. Under one roof, under one leadership structure, if those things can work together seamlessly, they will far outpace the capabilities of kind of a federation of specialized groups. And at the same time, we don't want ranks or internal divisions within AotW get in the way either. So, we're not planning on having those. I mean, for recruiting, you do split it a little bit into skill-based roles and, support roles. So for dogfighting and FPS, you need to have the ability to rely on those players in that role. So we always ask, can this guy defend this hallway by himself? Like, can he do the job? Can this guy hold his own in a Hornet in a dogfight? We have higher expectations for people in these kind of, more skill-based roles. It's kind of similar for support roles. Can they do the job? We want to see that they have the equipment, they have the smarts, they have the ability to articulate that plan. Oh, that's ironic. Because obviously we don't have that gameplay right now, and even if we did, it's not as measurable as the skill-based stuff. So, if you're a guy that wants to primarily be a bomber pilot or a reclaimer pilot or a medic or whatever, who do you want to do that with? Do you want to do that with the support of competent players? We have, I mean, easily have some of the best Star Marine players and AC players out there right now, especially in North American time zone. And we want to bring in kind of the same thing for these other support roles. And, obviously the skill cap's not as high there. You don't have to be a Twitch aim guy or an amazing pilot. So, that's kind of nice that we can bring in our friends. Like, for example, my brother's never going to be a dogfighting ace, but, he might want to help us as a bomber pilot. This is a perfect way to play with kind of the, AotW level players. So I'm pretty excited about building this thing up. I mean, it's work, but it's fun to plan it out and to follow through. And it's also been pretty great to see kind of the, friends that have joined alongside really get excited about it and kind of work alongside. So that's the vision. I'm the type of person that learns best from making mistakes. So I guess I can talk about how we got to this point. It's taken a lot of mistakes to kind of get here, to be able to come up with something and at least, kind of build the idea that we're capable of doing it and that people should go along with us. My initial reason for backing SC was that I saw like an MMO version of Freelancer, kind of the older Chris Roberts game, as a huge universe, where we could have fleet battles in the depths of remote areas with all these cool places to explore and, combat and stuff. So right away I got into the idea of multiplayer and kind of being in an org is an essential part of Star Citizen for myself. Then the first org I joined didn't actually want that org versus org endgame. They just kind of wanted to, be PvE types. So I made a slight mistake my first one there and joining them. From there, I went to Imperium, which definitely has Empire gameplay in mind. I mean, it's literally in their name. I don't have anything really bad to say about Imperium. I really appreciated kind of the professionalism and the planning that they do, or that they did. And their infrastructure was amazing. They have this portal and TeamSpeak setup that's really great. It was just that at that time, most of the solid, active, good pilots would hang out together on TeamSpeak and play. And I guess that's the one thing about Imperium is they didn't have a ton of active pilots at that time. Eventually, all these good pilots started to congregate in Renegade Squadron. So guys like Galoith, Mission Nav, Temp, Jack Cassidy, I mean, these guys I've been playing with since 0.9 or before, we're all coming together in one place. And at a certain point there, over half of the top 25 on leaderboards was RS pilots. Like it was absolute domination. And because the org versus org endgame is literally years away at this point, I made the decision to kind of go with my friends and, to kind of take on the competitive side of things in RS. Now, ultimately, some things started going wrong with RS. For one, they started to develop a poor rep with the rest of the community. Not only publicly, but, pushing away people that I liked because of the negativity that they came and saw and the volatility they saw. It was from the membership, like the general membership and the leadership too, unfortunately. So those problems just kept growing and growing until we had, I don't know, a string of incidents happen within a few weeks. We had players attacking CIG on streams. We had others yelling at people or prospects in 1v1s. We had friends that are people that I liked, at least, going to other orgs, deciding they didn't want to be a part of RS because of the atmosphere. So several players in RS actually decided to leave, including myself, came to the conclusion that it was better for me to leave than try to force my expectations or what I wanted in an org on everyone else that already had an org, right? A lot of people in RS liked how RS was, and that's fine. It was their org too. Anyway, I'm not really here to bash RS. So in short, we didn't kick anybody. We did not disband the org. Those actions were taken by other people, and that kind of drove us away where there were other reasons for driving us away. And I don't really think the reputation they had was salvageable either. But that's where I'm coming from. And that's what I've kind of experienced and learned from those mistakes that I've made and that other people have made running orgs, designing orgs, being a part of an org. Now on AotW, we want the professionalism in our members and in the org leadership. We want to be able to trust in kind of the stability there that I haven't seen in everywhere I've been. We want the competitiveness and the drive that players have to get better, at least, while also being able to accommodate, maybe people that aren't super skilled dogfighters or FPS players or whatever. Like there's rules for them too. We want the org versus org, the fleet, the large fleets, to work together seamlessly and that kind of stuff. And with all of that, there's a reputation that comes with it that we want to earn and maintain, especially in the actions of our players. So hopefully that was informative in terms of my mindset and what I'm thinking about when it comes to orgs, and hopefully it was a clear enough idea of what I expect or what I'm trying to accomplish anyway. With the other, of course, Nelrath and Mad are pretty mature guys, smart guys, as commanders of AotW. So it's not just me. It's definitely a team effort that we're going for. But I think we're definitely capable of it, and the people that we've attracted or that they've attracted so far are more than enough to start us off on the right track there. So hopefully I will have more things to do with 3.0 sooner rather than later than make videos like this. But I'll see you guys then.